Blitzers lost the connection, so now we'll see if this works out any better. So I am trying to stream this upstairs in kind of a setup area. So before I was setting up on my dining room table, now I'm upstairs, actually in a location, have the ability to just kind of leave things out a little bit. And so it makes it a little bit easier for me to do some of the videos, some of the live streams, hopefully the live streams. So let me know as far as how that goes, because I lost the connection in the first round, so I got one person back. But one thing I was talking about, so somebody asked about the front flipper, so I brought that out. G10's coming out for that. Manly Wasp, what's up? So Manly Wasp, this one's an S90V. This one is really a super steel. The slice is fantastic. This one's over from Jack Farmboy, so check out his channel. But this three-stop thing, it just ruins the knife for me because it just takes it to 1, 2, 3, 4 to open it, which is really, I don't know, it just doesn't work. So in looking at a regular traditional, so this one is going to be like lion steel. So this one is over from the Grateful Panic. So check out his channel as well. But there's a lion steel one, and then you gotta basically the half stop and open. And this one is quite stiff as well for it. So that's where it's going to be. I mean, if Manly just did a half stop, I think it would be a whole lot better. So I mean, if you got that comparison to safe, because you're having to kind of work it that way. So if I had this knife for a very good price, I would probably modify it. So I'd probably grind it a little bit more so it only had a half stop, or it only had maybe a 3/4 or 2/3 stop. Price, yeah. So then price wise, you're going to be paying a whole lot more for the lion steel, but you could probably find so fairly comparable between these two. This one is one of the GEC knives. So let me put this one away. So price wise, there's a lot of different options for Manly as far as what you can get. So they have all the way to D2, 12C27. This one's the S90V. Still a great price for that. But then you have this one here, the Great Eastern Cutlery. Lion steel. Although this might be fairly good, but this is from Grateful Panic. He sent it over because I was chatting with him for a little bit, and then he said, yeah, 15, because I was kind of looking at a 15. So this is a GEC 15, and this is just, it's just a gorgeous knife. So I believe there's the micarta, but there's just something about it where it's just a whole lot more refined than the lion steel. So this knife is a whole lot more expensive than this knife, but I personally would take this knife over that knife. If you can even see in this little video, you can see the bolster, and it has a gap there. This one doesn't have a gap. This one just really well done. This one does have a crown spine on the spring, but I think that might be just a way to, I don't know, not finish it properly. I don't know. It just doesn't seem as finished as much. I'm sorry, the focus is going on that, but GEC. There's a few other ones like A Right is an A Right and Son is one that I was recommended to check that one out too. There's a few different ones out there as far as traditional knives, but this is, I'm gonna have to get a GEC or some type of knife eventually. I'd almost want a little bit bigger, maybe. I mean, maybe it works like that, but so far I'm kind of stuck on the GEC 15 as far as a style, something like this. after handling the line steel, yeah, I'm not really too into that. So it's maybe nice. They have some different handle materials as far as some of the carbon fiber and whatnot, but I just don't think it is refined enough to make that worth it. So if I'm going to go traditional, even though that's modern traditional, I'm probably going to go with something like this. Yeah. Well, talk over with Grateful Panic. He can go and help you out with that. So both of those are from Grateful Panic. He sent it over for me to check out. So the line steel as well as the GEC. So that's something that's really awesome. Do appreciate that a lot because I am very much new to the traditional market. I can still appreciate the fine work that gets done, but I just didn't have one. So that's my experience with that. So we have that one there. So manly, bring it down to one stop. Then I think that would be a lot better than the 3-stop. Just don't like it. Ruins the knife for me. So it has a deep carry pocket clip, right and left hand, which is great. Great steel, although not very serviceable. G10, they have the black and red, which I still appreciate or still like more. But all these stops are just, yeah, don't like it. So I'll do probably a full review on that one. If we get maybe some more people on, so cool. So let me know if you guys have any comments, concerns, questions, anything else. I did have the post comment for mass review and also blade show. So I do have something coming up for that as well. So this one is also on the Arrakis. What did I carry today? I actually carried this one. So I carried the CRKT seismic because it came back. So that's one thing that is, I think it's kind of a drop for it, because if these thumb studs ever become loose, there's no way for you to do anything about it. I mean, I guess if you could grab a plier or something and, like, I don't know, I think, so Benchmade person, Mr. Zach, they should put in the Torx heads so you can actually tighten it, service it, take it off if you need to, tighten it if you need to, because that's one thing about this. As far as how big this is, I mean, this is in comparison to the cold steel, the Code 4. I guess I'm going to do that. So still bigger than that, but yeah, these came loose as far as the thumb studs or the blade stops that act like thumb studs. So that's something that I wasn't able to service, so sent it over. This one that do appreciate CRKT for providing it. I guess also one of the pass-around knives, but that's one drop I think for this one, and probably even the shock. I mean, the shock should have the same type of thing. What's up, Zach? I know. I appreciate it. Thank you very much for the donation there. You're definitely burning the midnight oil. So I'm just trying to get through some of this stuff because with everything that got kind of compiled and everything else, with the pass-around kind of getting a traffic jam of sorts, it's kind of one thing that I'm just trying to get everything back in line, get back on track, and get back to everything flowing a whole lot better than it was. But for the people on, so talking about as far as the blade show side, so kind of the announcement for that one is I will actually be attending. Oh, still here? Anybody comment? Something happened with my phone. So I'm in an odd location, so I'm trying this out. Comment? Awesome. Okay. So, Blade Show in Atlanta. This is going to be the first one that I will be attending. The folks over at QSP. So these folks, is the quality, service, and price. They actually invited me over to work in their booth, so it will be a working trip. Hopefully I'll be able to spend some time looking at some other things, but that is the thing that I'm going to be doing. So I'll be there from the 6th in the evening to, I think I'm going to fly back to Oregon on the 10th. So I'll be there for the entire blade show. So if you would like to stop by, check out some of the QSP knives, or just say hi. I mean, you can actually put, I guess, a face to the hands and to the voice. So that's going to be what's going to be happening with that. And so I will be over at Blade Show Atlanta. That's going to be the thing that will be happening with there. And then I'll be at the QSP booth. So that kind of came out of the blue, but that's coming together. So that is something that's there. And this is also called the Piglet for this knife. I do kind of like how they're doing the dual color G10s for some of their things. So that's the announcement for that. And that is it. But for this knife, as far as the Rackus, I mean, this is one that I don't like. It's pretty, but it's something that, like, even the, I don't know, just the pressure to relieve the stub frame lock is a little bit too tight. Yep, gonna be over at Blade Show, working the booth over at QSP. So we'll see how that goes, and see if it's a total disaster, if it's wonderful. We'll see how that is. I hear that Atlanta is going to be pretty outrageous from anybody that's been there. It's kind of crazy, unable to take it all in. So we'll see how that all goes. But as far as the Arrakis, it just doesn't seem as finished. So there's you can feel a little bit more of the gaps. This one has, at the pocket clip area, there's a little piece of metal that's kind of jetting out. So it's kind of a finish type of issue. So I don't know. It's just, I haven't really found one of Elijah Isham's knives that I've really liked. A lot of them that I like the look of it. I like the Pleroma. That was one that actually I really fell in love with that knife for that. But I just, when I got it in hand, I just didn't like it. And then this one is kind of the same thing. It's just kind of pretty showpiece, something to put up. But it's not really anything that I really enjoy or really like too much. So appreciate other folks for getting on. If you guys have any other questions, let me know. If you want me to talk about the Blade Show thing, then let me know as well. So I talked about that a little bit. This is one here, 7 for this Wii knife. So for some of the Wii knives, they normally are really good about it, but I found that as far as this one, for the amount of angle it takes to actually disengage, it's a bit too far for my liking. What's up, Big Red? What knife are you eyeing for Blade Show? I actually don't know. It's not really anyone that I'm really looking at precisely. It's just in one, I just want to see what everybody has. So I actually really want to see some of the Gerber stuff, as long as they can do it properly. Some of those actually look pretty interesting that I was seeing at some of their shows. I think it was the jukebox, the straight lace. There's one other one. It's really inexpensive knives too, but those little ones look pretty neat. But as far as this one goes, I mean, most Wii knives are really finished well. This one is it just doesn't seem like it's put together very well, or at least it wasn't executed very well. One that I kind of compare to that. So this one is one that I reviewed this as far before, and then it kind of just came back into my mind every now and then as far as a bullet. So that's one thing that I was just like, I just really like it. So in comparison to how much this takes to actually disengage and actually get onto that blade compared to this, It's just so much more fun. So just the angle on that. So this knife, not really into it too much. This knife I'm enjoying quite a bit. And it does have, I let Banter 24/7 give it a shot because I really like this pocket clip with the little roller on it. It seems a little bit cheesy in a sense, but I found that it works really well on most pants. So if you have like really heavy jeans or something, it might have what he said as far as that skateboard thing running into a curb. But otherwise, it goes pretty well in and out of the pocket. And I just like it as far as this one goes for the bullet. How's the live stream coming along? Is it working pretty well? Hopefully it does. Because yeah, I'm working off of an extender off the modem's like on the other side of the house, and I'm working off an extender in here to try and see if this will work or not. Because this is I guess my recording area now. So I did set that up. So awesome, it's working. So I did set this up as far as the recording area, and then so I actually had something set up because again I was sitting up on my dining room table, so that was kind of cutting into time and having to put everything up, take everything down, put everything away, put everything up, take it down, put it away. This I just leave up. So it makes it a little bit easier kind of playing around with it. I have this little diffuser box. It gets kind of in the way, so I'm kind of like stuck into this little box. So I don't really like that too much, so I'm going to probably play around that a little bit more to see how that works. But basically got that. Got some floor lamps to set up. Metal Complex, how you doing? So cool. So we've got some good reviewers on here as well. So that's something that is fantastic to see some of the folks on. And one of the mass drop knives that out of all the ones that I've handled so far, surprisingly, this one is currently my favorite. So this is going off of all the other ones that have come through, and we have a lot of knives out there. We have the Orca out there from, and we have, what else have we got out there? We got a lot of knives out there from Mass Drop. I guess it's now called Drop, right? So it's not Mass Drop, it's just called Drop. At least these still say Mass Drop on it. So I'll see how that goes for it. But for this one, for the dog tooth, the Brad Zinker knife, it's fantastic. I mean, it's basically if you take this knife, so it's basically, I feel, if Kershaw had put a bit more time into the leak, you would have got this. This is a manual knife. Yeah, I know. Sorry about that. So talked about as far as a few different things. If you see anything else on the table, let me know as far as if you want to see that. Talked about Blade Show. Blade Show, I'm going to be there for Atlanta. I'll be working at the QSP booth. So the QSP, which is quality, service, and price. I'm going to be at their booth. So they invited me over to do that. So it's coming together. So I don't think it's going to fall apart or anything like that. Hopefully that goes fairly well. But talking about this knife here, as far as the dog tooth and how I feel it's a level up from the leak. So if Kershaw had made a manual one, this is where I think it would be, because that's pretty much the profile, the size. It has the fine cutting edge for it. It also does have a thicker working edge here. So this is a flat grind here, but it's actually much thinner to a point down this side. And then this is going to be where it's going to be a thicker edge here. Is there going to be a regular video so we can see what I missed? Yeah, I mean, you can watch anything back. So if you want to go back on the video, watch from the beginning, watch anything else, yeah, it's going to be there. So, but let me know if there's anything else that you have questions on, Dylan, and then I can go over that as well, so we can see how that goes. Not a fan of the clip. Yeah, it's kind of like a platypus. It's a platypus clip. That's one thing that Yeah, yep, I did. Yep, just missed it all. I did like a Patty's potato peeler dance or something. Just missed all of that right at the beginning. I really didn't, but uh, that's something that again you guys will be able to check out. Stop in, put a face to the hands and the voice. If you guys stop by the QSP booth, and we'll see how that goes. So this is one that I really like though. So much so that I went and tried to buy a used one, but they sold it. So that's one thing that I'll see how this goes for that one. But currently, my favorite one, even though it's not the most expensive, this one's I think the 140 with the carbon fiber. It starts up at 120. I think the drop is still active for that. Oop. Yeah, it is awesome. It was kind of out of the blue. Didn't really know if it was going to come together. Seems like it is. So I'll be over working at their booth there. Also pens. So this is one of the pens that came through. This is one that was with the other knife. So with that knife, I don't think I'm ever going to get into titanium pens. Nah, it, I lose pens. So if I'm going to spend this much money, there's probably going to be like a $60 knife. I mean, not knife, but pen. I'm going to be just, might as well just set it on fire and like throw it in the trash can or something. Because I'm going to lose it. So that's one thing there. The thing that I did find that is awesome that probably most of you guys already have, but the pocket pens, I see this all over the place, but I didn't have a pocket pen. And so I went and picked up one of these. So there's one that is, there's a pop-off leather. So they went and sent this over as far as this little pocket shield. So this one came over from Big Red EDC. So thank you for this. So testing this out in there. So this one is the cheapest Sinkovich design that you'll probably have. But this is one that I'm trying out with the sheath. So I still think that this could be using some different changes where this could be like an actual choil. So grind that out. Actually be able to put your finger in there. And that'd be a way to go. But that's what I'm trying out. So thank you to Big Red for sending that along. Thank you for Pop-Off Leather for that. But this one is a pen that there's like a fidget pen. So any type of fidgeting that I'd rather do with a knife, I can do with a pen and kind of mess around with it. I was trying to even do a little trick thing to try and figure out if I could get that to do. Because I was going to try and like pop it up in the air and then like have it land inside. I'm trying it with my kids, and I might get them some pens just to play with. But it's just something that's kind of fun to play with. It works really well for it. There's a lot of different colors. If you actually do keep it long enough to run out of ink, you can change the ink. They also have all-weather ones, so you can do all-weather pocket pens. So these are ones that I bought for myself. So it's nothing that they provided or anything else like that. But it is something that is really cool. Yeah, I know. Yeah, once you get a your pocket pen, uh, you'll probably keep them for a while. If you like to fidget at all, if you like little EDC things, then this is probably going to be something that, well, maybe you shouldn't buy. It depends on the knife, I think, for the, oh, focus went out of, so it depends on the knife. So as far as the choil or not, like some of them I like to have a choil for, some I just don't need it. I mean, so this is one that I like for, I don't need a choil for that. Like I'm not gonna, yeah, I'm not gonna put my finger up there. So the sharpening is fine. I guess are you talking about a front choil for your finger or a sharpening choil or sharpening notch? I guess that would be the question for that one. But I think you're talking about actual finger choil. So I don't know if I have one that's out here. It has a finger trail. I don't think this one does. Nope, that one does not. So front trail, so finger trail. Yeah, it depends on the knife. I'm kind of indifferent on that. If I find one that actually works well, then I'll go with it. But it's not something that I really necessarily need. Because like even this one, I don't think this needs a front trail. Like I guess you could use this front piece. I wouldn't recommend it because you're too close to the blade. But yeah, it's not really necessary. I think some of the benefit is some of the fine work for it. I guess if you're having to kind of really get into it, but it kind of works with whatever design that you have, in my opinion, for it. So that's where I'm kind of indifferent. I guess I would be indifferent for that as far as that front choil. What else do I have that had a front choil? Just looking around, I guess they don't really have much that has a front choil. This kind of has a little choil, kind of more of a sharpening one, but still works. I still like the stat era, so this is one that I actually like quite a bit for this knife. I put the little quick stud on there and kind of modified it a little bit to be sunk in, so that it actually has the thumb stud for it too. So that's something that I think it was something that was missing. Kind of matches with the coloring. So you have the gold, the bronze, works really well. So I kind of like it quite a bit. The only thing that I guess for the choil side, the downside is if you're going to cut through like bags or anything else, because I tried to cut bags with some of the choils and it kind of gets caught in this area here. So that's either ooh, I didn't break anybody's eardrums there, but so that's something that that is a downside if you're going to be. It depends on the media that you're cutting. Then it might get caught up in these little choil areas. That's even something that the Tot Knife and Tool, as far as their thoughts behind it, as far as why their knives don't have a choil, is basically for that. As far as actually, if you're going to actually have any type of puncturing, then you actually don't have that grab, and that's why they don't have a sharpening choil. They don't have even a regular choil on the front of their knife. For them, actually, they have a regular choil, but they don't have it on the blade or the cutting edge for that. Oh, you leaving, Kevin? Awesome. Thanks for stopping in. So that's that. That's that. Talked about that one. So far, favorite as far as mass drop knife, Dogtooth. Didn't think so. But once I got it in hand, got to check it out. It's one that I really like quite a bit. Talked about line steel. Talked about the GEC. Probably gonna get a GEC at some point for that, but I don't really know. Let's see how that goes. Uh, some of the other knives that I really didn't really talk about too much. So we do have a Tuya. So this one is the one with the micarta update. So it does come with a new pivot when you pick it up. Comes with a deep carry pocket clip as well. It's not really meant to take apart, so I got the G10. Well, it comes with G10 initially, and to take off the show side scale, it just I had to ruin it. So now I have to just mark my micarta for this one here. That's a really beefy knife, but I do have a little bit of a rock to it, which I don't really like. I guess nobody likes that, but I mean, I guess if you grab it, then it kind of takes that away because it adds a little bit of pressure. So I could probably fix that by just increasing that pressure on the lock bar slightly. But yeah, that's the Tuya. And then we do have this one. This one doesn't really have much going for it. Dow has a nice front choil, so that one really works pretty well. The thing about it, I think that a few people, or at least Banter 24/7, kind of talked about you could make contact with the lock bar fairly easily for that, which makes it a little bit difficult. And then we had this one here. So this one's the ABKT. And then this one I actually went and took the black off of the pivot, and then took the black off of the clip. And this clip, so if you actually do have, uh, what knife did it fit? It was the Kaiser Dukes. So if you have a Kaiser Dukes, then they actually provide you with a secondary clip for left-hand carry, and then you could actually put that onto your Dukes without any modification. So it fits the other side of it. So the clip that you're not using, if you carry right-handed, that clip can go right onto your Kaiser Dukes right-hand carry, and then that's where it is going to be a little bit deep carry. I went and actually took the black off of this to actually give it a satin. So really kind of interesting where they put a little bit more work into it, and if they just left it in their plain materials, I think it would have worked a bit better as far, because this is normally black, that's normally black, that's normally black. So it's not bad for this knife here. Let's see. And then more of the channel's information. That'd be awesome if you actually are talking about this channel. So this is also another one from Jack Farmboy. So this one is the Dozier. Awesome. Do appreciate it very much. Always welcome people to watch the channel. I mean, let me know as far as what you guys think as well, because some of the actual behind the scene things takes a while. I mean, as far as like this type of stuff, I mean, it's uploaded. I can talk to you guys. You can tell me stuff, and it's up there. It's online. It's easy to do, but and there's still some prep to it, but it's a lot less than actually doing the video side, because the video side, I'm taking the pictures, I'm looking up all the specifications, I'm using the knife for a while, and then afterwards I got to go and edit the thing. So I'm like editing, putting the photos in there, and doing all those type of things. I saw a thumbnail. I didn't watch his video yet for Ryan's. So that's pretty cool that he's actually able to pick that up as far as the prototype. Yeah, it's really easy. I guess it's, yeah, it is very organic and it's very fluid. So you can actually adjust as you need to go. And so if there's a question, you can go, okay, well, I'm talking about this now, and then talk about something else. So it makes it a pretty good conversation as far as everything goes. So that's something nice about it. One thing I added into another measurement that I'll probably put into the reviews is kind of just the angle. So as I talked about with the Wii knife, it just has quite a big angle as far as the actual release. So I mean, you're going from basically this angle all the way down to there. So that's going to be probably about, how many degrees is that? About 40 degrees to actually get onto the blade. And I think that's way too much for that. So that's something that it just takes away from some of the fidget factor for it. Because even sometimes when it's actually touching your finger, if you're actually doing the disengagement, then you might not be on the blade itself, so it might slip off. So that's something that I don't really care for in that sense. One thing I also have to probably get better on, so I guess with Blue Collar Survival, with even Zach, Patty, I mean, all you guys have your set times, and sometimes that doesn't work for me. So I mean, that's where it would be good to have even slicey dices with the brews and blades, to have it on a set day, set time, and always there. It's kind of difficult. So that's where I try to do these when I can, as far as the live stuff. And then otherwise, I mean, I try and do the videos best I can. Then we still have the past turn group. Then we have life. So things just happen with that. So that's where I give credit to for Love the Knives to do it every single day. So that's something that's really impressive, to actually do a video on just randomness throughout the day. But what else do you guys have as far as different knives and everything else that you guys are looking for as far as things that you're going to pick up? Anybody else going to Blade Show? So that's going to be a really interesting thing to go to Blade Show, see what it is, see what the mayhem looks like, and then in working with the booth, I'll be there like while they're setting up. So that would be something that uh, I guess you don't really get to experience much. So that's going to be something that's pretty interesting to actually see things as they set up. Maybe I'll get to talk to some people. I don't know if I'll be able to record anything at that point, but we'll see how everything goes with that. So it'll be kind of an interesting setup. So good, good, good. Talked about that. Talked about that. Pair three. Yeah, I heard about the spider monkey. Let's see. Oh, so in West. Now you're gonna go to West though, as far as Big Red, because that's what November I think for Blight Show West. So we have June for the Atlanta version, and then we have I think November for the other one. Yeah, so Kubi seems to be doing some pretty good stuff for it. It just seems to have still a negative connotation behind the name because they had kind of the mix in of the clones and copies, and just such a hard market as far as being able to even be ahead of that. Like some things that like, oh, that looks cool. You put it out there, or you like think it looks pretty neat, and then you find that it's a copy of something else, and like there's just so many different knives out there. There's only so many different shapes and designs. But if it looks too similar, then that's where it gets kind of difficult for it. Uh, and then I guess what's your guys' thoughts on also for the blind knife reviews? Because we had the two, so one and two. Planning on doing three. They're just a little bit of hold up because of just everything that's going on and kind of bogged down a little bit. So we had the first one, which was this knife. This was blind knife review number one for this knife. Then we had the secondary one that was Power Cutlery. I went and sponsored that one, which is awesome. And then the third one is going to be through Valtech. So they're going to be doing the sponsorship for that. So we'll see how that goes for that whole thing. But that's pretty cool for that one there. Oh, I also do have a stat gear knife that's coming in. So I just got the notification today that the new ledge is on its way. So from Stat Gear, they just came out with a slip joint. So that's in the mail already. That's good. So you got a lot of good reviews for the blind. So we'll probably do that again. So it seems like everybody, even though I guess I guess here's the thing. I mean, some of the things that got negative comments, like very few, but there were some negative comments where it's like, no, this doesn't add anything to the community. This is a waste of time or whatever else. It's like as as the people that are participating in it, if they had fun, like that's kind of the whole point or some of it. It's just like the breakup of the monotony, breakup of the things that are kind of expected and everything else, and just it's just fun. So if anybody had that type of feedback on their videos, it's just like that doesn't matter. I mean, it was fun for everybody that was involved in it. The first round, the second round, and then we'll see how everything goes with that, and then we'll try and get everybody involved in the whole process. So we'll see how everything is. Yeah, definitely a break from the norm. I mean, how often do you blindfold yourself or uh, go behind a little poster board and try and figure out what type of knife it is? It doesn't happen very often, and then that's where it's just fun. So we'll see how everything get other people involved in it because we're gonna also have for number three Cedric and Ada. So he's gonna be actually doing the third one. So I'm pretty sure he's going to do a third one. So that would be kind of the guest appearance type of thing as far as one of those the channels there. And then anybody else that wants to get involved with it. So any other reviewer that you know, poke them, prod them. If they want to be in part of the blind knife review, let them know. And then if they're interested, let me know so we can get them involved in that. Yeah, blindfold works. So the reason why we went with so giving some insight and backstory behind the whole thing, the poster board is something we went with because a lot of us don't show our face. So we have some type of uh, thing there. So we're like, how do we do a blind knife review and then give confidence that we didn't see it? So we're talking about like little boxes, a photo development bag. Like it was kind of like going through a process of trying to figure it all out as far as how that goes. So that's something that kind of progressed that way. So yeah, blindfold works. The only thing about some blindfolds which might bring a question is like magician's blindfolds, which you can still see through. So that's why it was just kind of like the other one was just like we got a board in front of us. I can't see a thing, and that's kind of how everything goes with it. So no gloves. But that's all the reason where that came from. So the main origin to that was Epic Snuggle Bunny. I tried to get him involved in it too, to do the actual blind knife review since it came from his Barney lunchbox. So if anybody's seen his live stream, he has one that's loaded by Blade HQ, and then they put a knife in there. He doesn't know what it is, and so he pops the box and actually tries to fidget with it, trying to figure out what it is. But the only thing about that, there's nothing for the receiving end to actually see, and that's why we went with the board and our arms through it, because you can actually see what we're messing with, and then see if we're just totally off base from what you're seeing, because you can see what we're looking at or not looking at, and then we can be like, okay, well, it's this and this. It's like, well, no, it's not. So that's one thing that is kind of interesting, where it provides something for the viewer to look at, and then it still takes care of that blind part of it. So we're still trying to work off as far as how it feels and everything. Yeah, so good. So I'm glad that worked out pretty well for the board. Um, what else we're gonna do for that? That's pretty much about it. But if you guys have any things as far as other things that you guys can see for the channel, other things that you'd recommend. Oh, Zach, congratulations on 2000 as well. So that's a huge milestone for that. So I'm just about to 1500. I think I got another 12 or something to go. Then I'll see how that goes. But there's a whole bunch of things in the community that are still great. A lot of people that come on board, a lot of people that join in. I think even shortcut reviews kind of like suggested that people just start in this as any videos, and that's really a good thing to do because most of us start very humble beginnings, uh, still humble beginnings, I guess, for a lot of us. So, but I started with the whole wood clamp, like got my phone wood clamped to a tripod. That's kind of where I started with the whole thing. Yeah, I mean, it's good with his face reveal. And then you were on Facebook too, so we knew what you looked at like as well for that. But yeah, I mean, it's a good way to use it. A good way to be part. I actually have to make a playlist for that too. Just another thing to add to the list. So I actually don't have a playlist for the Blind Knife Review 2, I think, on my listing. So I got to do that as well. So that's something that's kind of another addition to figure out. But what else we got? That's going to be pretty much most of the things that we have going on with the channel. Hopefully, folks are doing well. Got three of you on. I think most of you are. So I think we got Zach. Yeah, we got. Who else do we have here? So this is the thing about not having something scheduled. Because at least something scheduled, people actually stop in and actually maybe carve out some time other than going, hey, I'm doing a live review, live thing, and then people signing on. So with that, we'll see how everything goes. Zach, thank you again for uh, the funds that you popped in there. Uh, Definitely interesting time with everything. Yeah, carving out sleep time. Yep, definitely needed. I was going to do a full review, and then it was getting kind of late, so that's where I did this instead, and then kind of testing out. So testing the internet, see if it works, which it's working fantastic, great, because before I had to move the whole live stream closest to the modem as possible or the router, because I tried to do it in the kitchen and then it didn't work. How long have you been here? Yeah, you've probably been on for some time. So, yeah, people are lurking in the background. You just never know. But yeah, JT, I don't know if you heard, so I'll be at Blade Show Atlanta. So that's going to be something that will be a thing. I'll be working at the QSP booth. So that will be a new thing for me. So very much. Are you working, JT? Normally you're working at this time of night. But if there's anything else that you guys are looking at, anything else that you guys want to see, yeah, definitely. This is second job. But also any brands, anything that you think we're missing out on, past run group or within the regular channel. If you have anything that uh, is something that's going to be pretty cool, then let us know. Because there's a lot of things out there that we don't know about with it. So, yep, I will be there. I'll be working their booth, and they said I will have some time to kind of peruse around. So I will see how that goes. Skyward 41, I don't think I've seen you on before, but if you have any questions or anything else, let me know as far as things go. If you see anything on the table, let me know. I'll show it to you. But that's where Blade Show Atlanta will be an interesting thing. I hear there's some not great parts of Atlanta, so I'm gonna probably Google search that before I go, as well as some food places, because I do like finding good food places as well. So I'll have that be part of my trip. So that'll be pretty cool. Cool, awesome. Thank you for watching. Yeah, yeah, celebrity, yes. So we'll see how it goes. I mean, it should be fun. It's definitely going to be something to see. Yeah, QSP's been having some interesting things with the handle material that you're talking about, JT. That one seems pretty interesting. I haven't seen it in person or handled it, but it looks awesome, and I haven't seen too many knife companies that actually use that as far as things go, and they are still trying to. One thing that I was recommending, I guess, get you guys input on it, but I think I asked some of you this, but as far as this, let's see, focus. As far as this phrase, I think it would just work better if they just took their actual name and wrote it down there. So QSP stands for quality, service, and price. So just put quality, service, and price, and then probably not use that. That's my opinion on that. So I don't know what people think about it, if it matters at all. If not, then eh. But that was kind of my idea as far as it's not really necessary for a slogan for it, because a lot of people still don't know what QSP is. So to not have that in on your box or in the literature that you provide in the box seems kind of interesting. You can find it on the website, but like this little card that comes with it, this one doesn't actually say what QSP means either. So just kind of an interesting thing to, it seems like that's something that they should add on there, because that's something that they try to maintain as far as, like that's some of their groundwork or their foundation are those three things. So I think that should be part of it. But what else we got? I don't know. Again, I don't know if too many of you have seen so also now kind of behind the scenes thing as well. So my little sharpness tester thing. I don't know if anybody actually seen this before. I had it in my old videos, but this is what I use to get the sharpness testing. So I have the little best media that I throw into the fidget spinner. So that is a fidget spinner. So I actually made use of something that was a flash in the pan. But put the knife in there, so lock it in. This is Lansky. I think there's a Lansky one. So lock that in there, get it set up. This has an adjustment, so I can go higher or lower. And then this one would swing over, rest on the blade, and then I'll take the actual liming pull gauge and actually pull it over to get the actual cut. And so I've been able to duplicate it pretty well. So I'm pretty confident in the numbers that I'm getting. This by itself has about 18 grams. So without actually doing any pull, I add 18 grams to whatever the number is. But that's what I use. So if I ever refer to the sharpness of a knife, that's how I'm getting it. So I know there's other things out there. I thought about actually getting one of those little tools, but I was cheap. And I think that there's still a little bit thing with it where I like to have something that does to reduce the amount of factors. With the other one, it just seems like there's going to be, I mean, too many factors with it where you're going to have to move the knife in the same way. And if you have a little bit different angles, it could change the results. So that's why I wanted something a little bit more fixed in how it was set up. Because the edge on up, that one has the scale, and then the media in the middle, and you push it through. But I mean, you could push it faster, slower. So even with that one, I mean, it would be nice to have something a little bit more, maybe even electronic, where it actually rolls it over at the same speed. But yeah, that was what I came up with for that. And I'm still working on something else for a rope cut test, but that one's kind of sitting on the back burner. I'm actually taking a bicycle frame and trying to figure out something with it. I'll see if it works, see if it doesn't. It's just one of those things that I would kind of playing around with. But that is it. If nothing else, let me know if there's anything else. Otherwise, we'll probably cut it off at the hour mark. So I have another 7 minutes for that. If there's any other comments, questions, concerns, things you want to look at, things you want to talk about. Oh, man. Hopefully I didn't hurt anybody else for that. So 2 people on for this, so we'll see how everything else is, but there's probably not much else. So kind of dying down, not really much going on. But thank you very much for anybody that came on. Thank you for the comments. Thank you for taking the time to spend with the live stream, even though there wasn't that much there. Is which one, the Effenberg? Nope, I don't have one, but that one is it's still scheduled to come out now. So he still has the Forte 325 that is scheduled to come out. It is slotted to be part of the pass around group when he gets to the production level on that one. So he's taking care of the main orders first, and then we should be getting that for the pass around group as far as the Forte. So that's something that we'll be able to do. This one, no. Yeah, this one is actually the Nemesis knives. So this is the MPR 2. So also available in the past round. This one's the one that was actually a Halloween special. So got this one over, and this one actually was from I can't forget. But this is one that I was able to pick up from one of the viewers, one of the friends. So he didn't really like it too much. So he wanted the Tanto version. So we kind of did a swap. But this one has the custom scale, so it's kind of a one-off. So you're not going to have another one with the orange scales unless you actually make it and then it has the back spacer as well. Yeah, the three is pretty sweet, but I think just they need to change the thumb studs on it because it's a little bit too sharp. So we'll see if that actually changes for any of the future models, because at least for these thumb studs, they don't really bite into too much for it. Yeah, it's actually a sweet little knife. I think whoever the OEM for Nemesis is does a really good job with their knives. So that's one of the ones that he doesn't tell as far as who makes their knives, but they're made in China. This one's actually, I think, VG10. Yeah, VG10. So that's for VG10 for that one. So yeah, I really like this knife. It's one that even with some of the more expensive knives, because this one you can probably get, I think, $80 or $70 probably with the 10% off code through White Mountain Knives. So that's something that's available for anybody to check out. I did pick up a Buck 110. It's kind of a mistake. I don't really like it, but I did pick it up because it has the ebony wood. So that's something that they came back with. So it went out in like the 90s, but they're actually able to properly source it. So this one is the one with the actual real wood scales for the ebony. They teamed up with, I think, Taylor Guitars to actually do that. So it's nice that way, but not very refined. Blade centering, not great. Kind of wobbles, but it's a Buck 110. It's kind of famous that way. And I'm looking at trying to do this. Someone on Facebook does laser etching. So I think I'm gonna get this laser etched as far as some type of pattern. I think it's gonna look sweet because I like this knife, but I think that'll just take it up a notch for that. So I think that would be pretty good. But anyways, that's about it, I think. Yeah, 110's a classic. There is actually going to be a 110 screw apart knife. So, like, these are all pinned together. So through SK Blades, they are going to have an aluminum screw apart. So that should be coming out, I think, sometime this next quarter. So just be looking out for that. Well, yeah, 110 with the access lock would be awesome. You can have them do that over at Benchmade. That'd be pretty cool. Just put it right in there. That's where I think that the one from Nemesis is kind of an upgraded one for this type of thing. Even the Manly knife is one that I think a Buck should really do. So like for this one here. I mean, that's pretty much 110 size, but this is one that you have to use two hands, otherwise like push on the table or your leg or something. But this is one that you can actually do one-handed, which is just great. So I think this, I would prefer a back lock in the smaller size. I think they had one, but it got discontinued. But they had a smaller version than this with a back lock. Yeah, so but this is the one that I like as far as the red and black. And I like even where the placement is. So the font that they use, the placement, so where it says peak there, it has just the lettering Manly. There's a 12C27 one, or 28. 12C27. Yeah. Yeah, you gotta have like your wall of red knives or something. You probably have quite a few of those. But yeah, it's a pretty good knife. Do like it. The smaller one I feel actually cuts better than this one does. So that's something that I found to be kind of interesting. And then it's a little bit sharp also in the thumb hole. Yep, indeed, very good knife. Done well. They had a little bit of an issue with the heat treating, but they even got a whole new machine and everything else. So that's one thing that's really great as far as some of the information that's out there, some of the testing being done, and then for a company to respond to it instead of just not responding or just not doing anything. But man, they actually took it into account, found that their machine was not testing correctly for Rockwell, and then so they actually replaced their whole machine. So that's one thing great about that. So Manly Knives, there's that one there. Cool. Who else is on? Who else is the two people? So thank you very much for being here to the end. I'm gonna end the stream. Gonna get some sleep. I'll see what, if anything, I'll do as far as video side. I just got to get some of these moving. So I might have to just reset and then get some of these going, get some of these out to people, and then kind of just reset and start over. And then we're also gonna have the giveaway. So for all the mass drop knives, gonna be doing probably I think Saint Vincent's and also Wounded Warrior. So in doing a donation for that will be an entry into that giveaway for all the mass drop knives that we've been able to handle. So that's going to be something we're going to be coming up with that. So I think those are the two ones that we're going to do, kind of coining off of what Nick does with his. Granted, it's not going to be super expensive knives that he normally has, but it'll be that same idea. Don't send money to me. It'll be all through just a receipt. So if you don't make a donation to one of those places, then we will do a drawing, and then you could get a free knife out of it. Well, not a free knife. Donate, good cause, possibly a knife out of the whole deal. If not, then you just donated. So good job. But that's going to be how we're going to deal with all the mass drop knives, including this one, 7 the dog tooth. Yeah, I mean, we might be able to do that too. So that would be able to kind of spread the wealth a little bit as far as doing that, because I was having them all come back. But yeah, we'll talk about it. So let's put in the comments, put in the think tank, and we'll see how that goes for that, and then we'll kind of go from there. But that's going to be how we're going to do it for that, and then kind of spread the wealth and give away something pretty awesome. So thanks again, folks. Have a great night. Get some rest. Find some cool knives. Let me know what I'm missing. And if anybody's going to be a Blade Show, I will see you at Blade Show.